Hey everyone, welcome back to Cat Eye Sophie. I'm Sophie. Thank you for watching. Before we move on in this video, I really would like to know, who are you watching this video? Are you a makeup artist? Are you a high school student? Are you somebody who has been a completely different field for however many years and you're considering a change of pace? Or are you a currently licensed professional who is just curious as to what I'm gonna say? Leave your comment down below, I'd really like to know. This video is going to be 5 things that I think you should consider before signing up for beauty school. I've been doing makeup for like almost 5 years now, and I'm also a licensed esthetician who is currently practicing as well. Before I went to beauty school, I had gone to college. I have my bachelor's degree. I also worked a lot of retail. I worked as a makeup artist on set. I had a lot of film and theater friends in college, so my senior year I did work on set a fair amount as a makeup artist, and then when I graduated, it all just kind of flowed from there. But if you have more questions about my actual journey, I have a video where I talk about it, so I'll put that up here and I will link that down below as well. But this video is about you. This video is about what you should think about. So without any further ado, let's jump into my 5 things you should consider before signing up for beauty school. The first thing you should ask yourself is, why am I doing this? Why am I considering this? Having a license is a great thing to have in any field. Having your license allows you to branch off in many different directions within this field. There are a lot of different, highly specialized beauty services that you can offer, so it's really cool in that way. That's one thing that's really positive about our industry. I do talk about more pros and cons on that in the video where I talk about my whole journey. One con is that usually it's going to take you time to build up clients, and unless you do something like retail or what's, something that's really trendy, like right now lash bars are really popular. Unless you do something like that, it's going to be really difficult to make money at first. Overall, I wouldn't do this unless you love it. And that can be really difficult to know when you're younger. Although, getting your license early in life is really useful. I certainly don't want to stop you. I just want you to look up salaries and look up different job openings on Indeed and stuff like that, so you can actually see if any positions that actually exist in this field are appealing to you. My second question is, do you just want to be a makeup artist? I know some states require you to have some sort of certification and some do not. Either way, I'm pretty sure there's no makeup license. If you're going to beauty school, at least in New Jersey, I can speak about New Jersey, you want to go to beauty school to either become a licensed esthetician who does skincare, or a licensed cosmetologist who is licensed to do everything under that umbrella that falls under skincare and hairstyling. Do you want to go to beauty school to become a makeup artist? Because if you end up going to beauty school and you become a successful makeup artist, that is awesome, and they do teach you a lot about sanitation. It is a good idea to know about hair and skincare if you are doing makeup, because the 3 really do go hand in hand. But the best way to learn as a makeup artist is to work at a counter. It's not to go to beauty school. So if you are strictly looking for education in makeup artistry, you can do a specific makeup program. Those tend to teach you more about sanitation and stuff like that, or special effects. But if you actually want to learn to do beautiful makeup on people's faces, I would work for a beauty counter. Bobbi Brown, NARS, MAC. So my next one was going to be, can you afford it? I'm just going to talk about that briefly. So my school had a financial advisor. They talked to me about loans and how much they recommended I pay off per month out of pocket and stuff like that. Hopefully your school that you're looking into has a financial aid department that can offer you guidance on that stuff. Just be aware that if you have your bachelor's degree, you're not going to get any sort of free money, grant money. You're gonna just get loans. You do need to have a certain amount of financial flexibility to stop what you're doing, or go to work all day and then go to school at night part-time. You would have to have flexibility with childcare and stuff like that. Or if you just wanted to go full-time and finish it sooner, you would have to have the financial flexibility to do so. If you have your bachelor's degree, they're not going to give you any money. It can get expensive. It's not as expensive as college, but it's still $10,000 plus. If you want to do nails, it's probably a little bit less. Just have your finances in order before you make this like big decision. Oh, and that 10,000 or more was a skincare ballpark, by the way. Cosmetology, which is a broader license, is even more. The way I was able to do it is I lived with my parents. When I thought I was going to be able to move out, I just stayed an extra year and finished my aesthetics license, which from start to the day I got my license took me about a year. And I was just working part-time and freelance, like makeup, retail, internship, stuff like that. I mean, I'm so grateful that I had the financial flexibility to pursue my passion. But yeah, that's definitely something to consider before you make this major decision. So I guess this is turning into 6 things, slash we can look at this next one that I'm throwing in right now as an extension of like the first 2 questions. And is that like, do you want to do nails, skincare, hair? Like, what exactly do you want to do? And do you feel, because here's the thing. On the surface, cosmetology looks like a bigger bang for your buck, like a bigger initial investment on something that will possibly give you a greater return in the long run, or at least give you more opportunities and flexibilities for what you're able to do. So cosmetology in New Jersey, for example, and in a lot of most states, like allows you to do hair. You can also, I believe, pierce earlobes in New Jersey with a Cosmo license. You can become an esthetician. You can't become a massage therapist or a tattoo artist. Like those things are governed by different government things. But pretty much anything within beauty, you can do with your cosmetology license. Now, that doesn't mean that you learn everything in school. More often than not, when you sign up for a cosmetology program, you learn hair, and that's pretty much it. And in New Jersey, that's 1,200 hours of your life. Part-time, that can take 2 years. So do you really want to be working on hair for that long when really what you're doing maybe is getting, you know, a broader license that's going to allow you to do what you really want to do, but you're going to spend 2 years in beauty school hating your life because it's hair? You know what I'm saying? So like, don't, and they are going to try and sell you on the cosmetology license because it's a better deal for you because you get more out of it, but really it's just a better deal for them because they're getting more of your money. And I have known many people to do the cosmetology license, the whole cosmetology program, 1,200 hours of their lives, and then go to do the aesthetics program right after because they think that skincare would have been such a better fit. And, you know, no regrets. You shouldn't have regrets in life. Like sometimes that's how you learn, by, you know, doing something that wasn't ideal in the first place. But it's really good to think about these things before you go in because they might try and sell you on the Cosmo program. They did not try to do that to me, nor would I have let them. I really wanted to pursue skincare. I knew that skincare was my passion on top of makeup. I knew that going in. I was super well read and I was really excited to be able to work in the skincare industry. So yeah, just another thing to consider before signing up. In some states, like things like nails, like are a certificate, like things like aesthetics are a certificate. You might be able to like just pay less money and be in school for less time to do what you actually want to do. Unless you genuinely feel like that certificate or license is limiting to you and you want to go for cosmetology and you love hair, then totally do it. And that'll open up so many opportunities for you in terms of what you could do with it. But if you don't like to do hair, I wouldn't do cosmetology. Okay, so this one is something that I have some like strong yet mixed feelings about. So is the school that you're looking into a curriculum school or a brand partner school? If it's a brand partner school, you're gonna know because the name of the brand is gonna be on the school. The school that I went to was partnered with Paul Mitchell for hair and they were partnered with Dermalogica for skin. So we had a ton of resources, like a ton of great products to choose from for beginners. I mean, come on. I went into the city like once every couple of months to attend a seminar at Dermalogica, which was super cool. We had assemblies with people from Paul Mitchell who would give like, you know, advanced topics or more business advice. So the business advice ones I really, really enjoyed. The ones that were like strictly about how to cut hair, like I obviously didn't enjoy, but it was mandatory to participate in the Paul Mitchell culture, even though I was there for skincare. So that was kind of annoying, but definitely not a deal breaker. Like, had I known that, I wouldn't have not gone there, because I do feel like Dermalogica has a lot of brand recognition and it was good networking. But I did think in terms of education, it was to my benefit to be at a Dermalogica partner school. Now, the downside is, number one, you just kind of become like a sales rep for that brand in a way. Like, I mean, come on, they have to have like some incentive to become an education brand, right? So you kind of become like, you know, like a little Dermalogica or a little Paul Mitchell minion. Especially the Paul Mitchell culture was so creepy to me. Like, and I found like, you know, people in the Cosmo program that I became friendly with were like, oh yeah, I'd love to work for Paul Mitchell. Like, I love the Paul Mitchell culture. And I'm like, you do you, boo, but I feel like I'm surrounded by like robots right now. Like, that's how creepy it was to me. But anyway, so when you're at a brand partner school, you're learning a very specific protocol. The problem with that, I mean, I have experience working for like a number of different brands and you know, doing things differently according to like every brand that I'm representing. So that wasn't so difficult for me to like adjust in that way and then like readjust when I entered the workforce after school. Although I could see that being difficult for somebody who like this is their introduction into this industry, or just like somebody who's not flexible. But the immediate problem with this is that, you know, there's a protocol, which is like what the brand tells you to do, and then there's your state board practical, and that you have to follow very specific steps. In New Jersey, we had to like pack up like a bunch of like disposable things in like very specific bags, and, you know, had to do all this like outdated method of, you know, waxing, tweezing, whatever. Had to have the cotton around like a very specific finger. Like, it was just absurd. And it was also different than what I was doing in my hands-on practical Dermalogica facials when I was at school. Learning Dermalogica's protocol was a lot more fun, obviously, than learning state board, but it did take away from my confidence in state board so much that I actually ended up switching classes. I ended up quitting my internship and going to the daytime class. Partially, there were a couple of reasons, but partially because I felt that at night we didn't go over state board that often at all. And the point of beauty school, you guys, is to get your license. And just on top of that, like, there are teachers who want to teach you what they know from the real world, which is also awesome. Like, I would love to like learn as much as I can about being a better professional. But you know, that like your teacher's way plus Dermalogica's way plus the New Jersey State Board's way, it was a lot of information to take in. I was really nervous about state board. Of course, I passed it. Like, it's fine. I practiced. I made sure I did what I had to do. I mean, don't get me wrong. There are some schools that I've heard of that go over state board like all day, and that is just not fun at all. So again, like, I'm glad that we had like other things to focus on, but that's just something to consider. And the final question I have for you is, which state do you live in? So every state has different rules and regulations. So these rules and regulations are usually mandated by the State Board of Cosmetology and Hairstyling. Every state is different, like I said. There are a ton of rules that, like, you know, they love to fine you for if you break. So it's really important to know these rules going in. And a lot of people want to go into education, but in New Jersey, for example, you have to be a cosmetologist to teach aesthetics. So if you have your aesthetics license, you can't go back to school for your aesthetics teaching license. You have to have a cosmetology license, and then you can go back for your general teaching license. It is complicated, and like, it could set you back years if you don't know the rules that govern, you know, the avenues that will get you to your end goal. So that is very important to know. It's important to know what you can do with your license, how long it's going to take you to get your license, what kinds of positions you could fill with that license. Again, look on Indeed and cross-reference that with the State Board website. Again, you want to be able to open yourself up to as many opportunities as possible in a way that makes sense for you and what you envision for your future. And you don't want something as silly as getting the wrong license and spending all that time getting the wrong license to determine whether you're able to reach your end goals. So I knew a bunch of girls that found out like in the middle of the program that they weren't going to be learning X, Y, and Z, that they're not able to become a teacher. So yeah, just like know your state board rules and regulations and the different forms of licensure available in your state. And also, if you want to work in the state that you live in, you have to go to a school in that state. So we had a girl in our class who was coming like every day from the Bronx, and I was like, I hope she knows that she's going to get her New Jersey license when this is all said and done. So New York and New Jersey have reciprocity when it comes to the hours. They're both 600 hours. So if I want to work in New York, which I should, I live so close to the city, but I need to go get my New York license. So I don't have to go back to school for 600 hours. I just need to go back to school for a couple of days to a school in New York to learn their state board practical. I wish I knew a little bit more about that one, but it just like varies by state and it's so complicated. So just do yourself a favor, and if you live in like any sort of, you know, on the border of states, like do yourself a favor and figure that out before you commit to a school. That being said, I don't think it's as difficult to like switch the state that you work in as like, you know, a teacher, like a K-12 teacher, for example. Like it's definitely not as many board certifications as something like that. Like I can go to another state and, you know, figure out what I need to do to take the exam. I definitely feel like I can go places with my license. It's just easier to work in the state that I'm currently licensed. I love being a resource to aspiring beauty professionals as well as to my friends and my clients and general consumers. That being said, if you like this video and want to see more skincare and makeup related content, please go ahead and subscribe. I do try and put out content that's going to be super informative to you and not just like pushing products and stuff like that, although I do love a good product. Make sure you check me out on Instagram as well at CatEyeSophie, because I do go live and like, you know, do my makeup or do a skincare routine or show you a skincare device. And during that time, I love to answer questions that you might have. It's a way better forum for me to chat with you guys and actually answer specific questions than this is, although I do hope that this was informative. So that is it. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you spending the time here today. And otherwise, I will see you in my next video. Bye.